The Gradara Castle stands on a gentle hill in the Marche region and already feels like a scene from a historical film. Massive, almost completely preserved defensive walls with battlements and towers surround the entire settlement, creating a striking first impression of medieval architecture. Within these walls lies a small but lively Borgo, a village full of history and everyday life. Narrow, cobbled streets wind between old stone houses, lined with small shops, cafes, and traditional workshops. As you move through the village, you discover quiet corners, local craftsmanship, and the authentic atmosphere of centuries past. Even before entering the castle itself, Gradara invites you to experience the feeling of a living medieval world. As we pass through the gate, we enter the upper courtyard of Gradara Castle, an open space enclosed by defensive walls and towers, used historically for movement and internal access. In front of us stands the Church of San Giovanni Battista Church, located within the castle complex and serving both residents and guards in the medieval period. The interior is simple and functional custom with a single nave, stone walls, and religious artworks reflecting its historical use. We now enter the main castle of Gradara Castle and step into the open inner courtyard, the central space of the fortress. This area was the heart of daily activity, used for gatherings, movement between buildings, and access to the residential and defensive sections. The courtyard is surrounded by high stone walls and dominated by the central keep, which served as the strongest and most secure part of the castle. Around us, different levels and entrances lead to halls, chambers, and towers, showing how the structure combined living spaces with military function. Features like wells and storage areas ensured water supply and basic needs during long periods of defense. The interior of Gradara Castle is remarkably well preserved, giving a clear impression of how the castle once looked. Much of what can be seen today is the result of careful restoration, especially work carried out in the early 20th century to recover its medieval appearance. The structure itself, including walls, towers, and main rooms, has remained largely intact, highlighting the strength of its original construction. Inside, decorative elements have been partly reconstructed based on historical sources and surviving fragments. Frescoes and painted walls add color and character to several rooms, while wooden furniture and textiles help recreate the atmosphere of noble life. At the same time, many spaces remain relatively simple, reflecting the balance between functionality and representation. Today, Gradara stands as one of the best preserved castles in Italy, offering an authentic combination of original structure and carefully restored decoration. Inside the so-called Francesca room, this dress represents the figure of Francesca da Rimini from the castle's most famous legend. It is not an original garment, but a historical reconstruction, showing how a noble woman of the 13th century may have dressed. Within Gradara Castle, the chapel served as a private place of worship for the castle's residents. It is small and simple, with a single nave, stone walls, and a modest altar. Such chapels were an essential part of castle life, used for daily prayers and religious ceremonies. At Gradara Castle, one of Italy's most famous love stories is said to have taken place. It is the story of Paolo Malatesta and Francesca da Rimini. Francesca was married for political reasons to Paolo's older brother, but over time, she and Paolo fell in love in secret. According to the legend, their love began while reading a story together, a tale of forbidden romance that mirrored their own feelings. One day, they were discovered by Francesca's husband. In a moment of anger, he killed them both right here inside the castle. Their tragic story did not end there. The poet Dante immortalized them in his Divine Comedy, where they appear in the afterlife, forever bound together. Even in death, they are never separated, carried side by side through eternity. Today, Gradara is remembered not only as a fortress, but as a place where history and legend became one.